Good. How's your?
I'll be great. That's I said to say it. I don't intend to say anything unless possible. could have an emergency, but I How did you do that? Are you good? Did you get what you wanted? Although I wasn't trying to wait for someone. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's squat. No, yeah.
I called her back. Actually, I was waiting for her. He said that he had. I want to know what he gave me some homework.
They think I'm looking for you.
Yeah, I mean, if they got the same Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to call the July Board of Legislature meeting to order. First, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have the invocation. Mr. Peck.
Heavenly Father, thank you this night that we can gather together, and thank you also for Independence Day yesterday, where we had the opportunity to celebrate 240 years as a nation, as a nation of states. Lord, I pray that you will continue to give us guidance, leadership, and help us all remember that the leaders that
Roll call, please.
Legislator Monticelli? Nevawanik? Drake? Fitzpatrick? Gero? Doldo? Doctor? Reed? Adsett? Maxon? McBride? Johnson? Peck? Gray? Here. 14 present.
Okay. This time, I'll open up the floor for public hearing on JCC's 2016-2017 budget. If anybody wants to make any comments regarding the budget, please step forward, state your name and address. Hearing none, then we will close the public hearing. Privilege of the floor regarding any topic. So if you'd like to address the board, please step forward, state your name and address, and if you could keep your remarks to 5 minutes or less, that'd be greatly appreciated. Anybody wish to address? Yes, sir.
Chairman Gray, honorable members of the board, my name is Gunther Schaller. I live at 17348 County Route 5 in Clayton. I'd like to comment on agenda item number 7, the proposed tax treatment of large-scale renewable project in the county. I'm directing my comments to any member who may be inclined to oppose the proposed resolution. Once the vote is cast and legislation is approved, anything less than a unanimous vote will send a signal to those who share the following opinion as quoted by Channel 7. As our school administrator indicated, he'd rather have 50% of $100 than 100% of nothing. You may be opposing the bill because of its inclusion of solar, or because perhaps it does not approach each project individually. Your comments during deliberation may be forgotten. The nay vote will be remembered. It will encourage the local towns and school boards to grant pilots, because 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. This is an approach the Jefferson County IDA may very well pursue as well. Tax abatements were designed to foster job creation and economic development. Something big win for one fails to deliver. It ignores the fact that the likely loss of value of real property in surrounding communities will lead to a reduction in real property taxes, affecting the very entities that have created the problem. It ignores the fact that the potential negative impact on the economic well-being of the county due to the shrinking tourism and second home ownership. It also ignores the very likely negative impact on the future of Fort Drum. We have proposition or resolution number 176 pending later on today, which is designed to encourage the development and expansion of Fort Drum. This would be directly contrary to that objective. To roll out the red carpet to welcome industries that have an overall negative impact on the economic well-being of the county would be contrary to everything you stand for. You may be torn by obligation to serve communities such as Townsville and Henderson, one in favor of tax relief, the other one facing dramatic losses in property values without any benefit from Apex. You have demonstrated a deep understanding of these complex issues, and I appeal to you to let your vote reflect this understanding. Make this a unanimous decision. Vote to approve this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to address the board? Hearing none, close privilege of the floor. Reading minutes of the last session. Anybody have desire to hear those? None. Okay. Presentations, petitions, notice, and communications.
Mr. Chairman, we have two to report this evening. First, we received a letter from NISAC supporting the county's Resolution 149, which was the resolution asking the state to fully reimburse county costs for indigent defense. We also received an appreciative response from Assemblywoman Russell regarding the county's DMV revenue sharing resolution and the indigent defense resolution as well.
Okay, reports of standing committees, please.
We have a report of the Finance and Rules Committee reporting favorably on resolutions number 173, 174, and 175. And we also have a report of the Finance and Rules Committee recommending approval of the legislator expenses.
Okay, reports of county officers and others.
We have one, which is a report from the county auditor for erroneous assessments.
Okay. Local laws and resolutions, resolution number 159, please.
Payment of legislator expenses.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 160.
Adopting the 2016-2017 Jefferson Community College budget.
Discussion? Done? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 161.
Appropriation for the conduct of Jefferson Community College for fiscal year 2016-2017.
Discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried. 162.
Amending the 2016 county budget and capital plan in relation to the JCC master plan projects.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adsit? Jero?
Yes.
Doldo?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Doctor?
Yes.
Maxon?
Yes.
Monticelli?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick? Yavawanik?
Yes.
McBride?
Yes.
Drake?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, amending the 2016 county budget relative to capital projects.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Legislator Johnson?
Yes.
Maxon?
Yes.
Drake? Jero?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick? McBride?
Yes.
Adsit? Doctor?
Yes.
Yavawanik?
Yes.
Monticelli?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Doldo? Peck?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
164.
Authorizing reappointment to the Jefferson Lewis Workforce Development Board.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 165.
A resolution setting forth the policy of Jefferson County Board of Legislators in regard to the abatement of real property and other taxation for alternate energy projects larger than 25 megawatts rated capacity.
Discussion? Mr. Jarrow, then Mr. Maxim.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd first like to just state that I've always thought property tax overall is an evil, and it's a terrible way to tax our population, but for the purposes of funding government. With that being said, if we are going to use property tax, I think we as a body have a duty to make it as fair and equitable as possible. When we talk about tax abatements, I think there must be a benefit to the community greater than what taxation would be in its stead. These type projects just don't meet that litmus. I've had some people threaten my job over this, my job as a legislator. I have to do what I think, I have to vote in a manner in which I think is beneficial to my district and Jefferson County as a whole. And if I can't do so with clear conscience and I lose my job because of it, so be it. Thank you.
Mr. Maxim?
Thank you, Chairman Gray. The question that has been asked of me since this came into the news is, what is the purpose of a pilot, and why would we want, as a board, to set a policy governing them? And a pilot of this nature is designed to provide a tax abatement in exchange for the creation of wealth in the community. Now, for me, a large part of that are the jobs that are created, whether primary jobs created by the developer, secondary jobs created by the money they spend, or even tertiary funds. But as Mr. Jarrow said, what a company provides in benefits to the community must outweigh the benefits that the county provides in tax abatements. If we consider the plight of the dairy farmer in Jefferson County, should we provide and lobby for federal, state, and local tax abatements so that all of our farmers can have robotic milking parlors? It would no doubt generate new wealth for the owners of those farms, but no new jobs and would create very little wealth for the community, and in fact would do very little more than dump a glut of new product on an already oversaturated market. Now, we have a governor picking winners and losers in a segment of the economy, in a market that is already laying off jobs, hundreds of jobs, right down the road, because the market is already oversaturated, because the prices are already too low. In exchange for what? For 4 jobs here at home? I think that the question that may need to be answered going forward is this: how do we reconcile the policy that's proposed here with a healthy desire to examine every project that comes along on its own merits? And I think it is a question of equity. It's a question of fairness, and it's a question of justice. So let us examine each project through that lens. Do the benefits that this project will provide to the community outweigh the benefits that the county, the town, the school district, or the city is being asked to provide? And I think that this policy goes a long way toward ensuring fair play and free markets. Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Maxim. Anyone else? Mr. Peck?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a matter of question, since included within the dialogue of this is a request of the IDA to abide by what we're requesting. I guess, what leverage do we have or assurance that they will incorporate our desires within a modified UTEP?
Another vote? Another vote?
Yes. Well, with that then, I guess I will be voting in favor of this for the simple matter that we're not preventing anything from happening in any jurisdiction. You know, whether wind comes or doesn't, that is a matter for the local zoning to arbitrate, not for us. It is a matter just for us to consider that we are treating taxpayers fairly, in terms that if anybody is coming into town, no matter where they are, that they are going to be playing on the same level field from one township to another if they successfully make it through any local jurisdiction's zoning laws. So as far as, I think this is good policy. I think it's a step in the right direction compared to what happened before. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beck. And Mr. Drake.
Yeah, I've already said my piece at the meeting for finance. I'm voting no, and I really feel that it's a local issue, and I think each wind or solar project should be voted on its own merits, not just one big uniform policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drake. Anyone else? Mr. Doctor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I stated earlier at the Finance Committee, I do think this resolution goes a long way to protect one of our largest employers, one of the most important pieces of in Jefferson County, the Fort Drum installation, and specifically Wheeler-Sac. Many of us were brought into a meeting several years ago to discuss the effects of the wind turbine operations near and around Wheeler-Sac and Fort Drum. It certainly was a deterrent. And with the forthcoming process of looking into the new missile defense site, the possibility of that being here in Jefferson County on Fort Drum, I think it's important that we send a clear message to the folks in Washington that we are willing to protect that base and the property around it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Doctor. Anyone else? Mr. Monticelli.
My comments are precipitated by my colleague's comments. I guess this policy, and I said this at Finance and Rules, and I'm not sure that I'm making it clear, but I'm going to try again. We're saying that we will grant the pilot, which allows the other taxing jurisdictions to do what they will, and at least they have the option. By us saying we wouldn't grant the pilot in a policy, then that stifles the chance of this happening. If it happens on its own merits, if electricity has a market, then the marketplace should be able to build towers that produce electricity. And Legislator Doctor, I also don't want you to think for a minute I would put wind towers ahead of Fort Drum.
but just saying, if there's a market, then it should go forward. I thought the intention, or I feel the intention of the policy is to let people who want to do this, bring wind and solar, which is a New York State initiative, to our part of the country, to our county, to allow that to happen, but not on the backs of the taxpayers, which the state legislature and governor have already decided to limit how we can raise taxes. If we have to take a fee that's not a tax, it doesn't increase our tax base for the next year to have a higher percentage. I know I'm going nowhere that's going to make sense. I don't know. I was comfortable with the policy. I'm still comfortable.
Thank you, Mr. Monticelli. Anyone else? Hearing none. I'll just, first of all, I want to thank everybody for the time and the effort that they put forward in developing this policy. It's been months in the making, and it's been many conversations with you folks. Everybody's had a chance to have input in it in the final document. I would echo many of the legislators' comments here this evening that, like it or not, we have a system that's both, we try to keep reasonable, and it is equitable based on the system that we're working under. We have a job to provide services to the community. We have to pay for those services, and we have to make sure that they're shared equally and equitably by everyone. We're really, you heard somebody mention wealth to the community. That's when you should be looking to induce a project with a tax abatement, is when something brings wealth to the community, when it's importing wealth to the community. Wealth as in money circulating inside the community, jobs that are being created, property that's being properly redeveloped or reused or made, maximizing its potential. Those are all very valid reasons. Not limited to those, but very valid reasons to induce such a project. We're not here for people to come in and say something is better than nothing. We've heard that argument. We don't buy that theory. We're not here for people to come in and put a price down in front of us and say, this is what you should accept in order to subsidize and pay outside investors to make them wealthy. We're here about our community. So I appreciate everybody's time, and does anybody else have anything to say before Mr. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to add to your comments, which were very well said, about that something is better than nothing. That could be said, if we took that philosophy, that could be said about every single property improvement in the county. Every doghouse that was to be built, every garage, every home, everything. That is, in my philosophical decision-making, is a non-starter, and it is not for consideration. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing no further discussion, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Mr. Drake. Thank you. Resolution number 166, please.
Authorizing the execution of a Tri-County Energy Consortium intermunicipal agreement and electricity purchasing agreement.
First, before I entertain discussion, I would like to have a motion and a second to amend the resolution to change where it says shall take effect immediately in the last paragraph to the wording shall take effect May 20th, 2016. So if I can get a motion on an amendment, please. Mr. Peck, second Mr. Johnson. Discussion on the amendment. Hearing none, then a vote on the amendment. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Discussion on the resolution as amended. Mr. Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. I would like to commend Mr. Johnson for some of his diligence with this project, and I see he's shaking his head. But I think this could be something that could be of benefit. When we talk about renewable energies and the potentials here, the Tri-County Consortium does hold some possibilities for some cost savings over time, and if we do buy into this, we would be the largest consumer of electricity within the consortium. all of us are supposed to have one vote in terms of who is participating in this, but I think by our participating in this, though, it would show a great deal of interest in renewable energies, but also in whatever sort of cost savings we might have. I know that there's some more details to be worked out within this, but I think that this could be something good for us over the long term.
Thank you, Mr. Beck. Further discussion? Hearing none, vote as amended. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution 167.
Number 167, authorizing the approval of an outline of understanding with Copenhagen Wind Farm, LLC, and the affected Jefferson County taxing jurisdictions regarding property tax and other inducements in regards to electrical transmission feeder line in the towns of Champion and Rutland.
Discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Noted. Resolution 168, please.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Environmental Protection and Spill Compensation Fund regarding tax map parcel number 55.71-1-44 in the town of Luray.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 169, please.
Amending the 2016 county budget relative to buildings and ground department.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Number 170, please.
Authorizing agreements for the Federal Aviation Administration, the New York State Department of Transportation, Pastor Associates, and MB Companies Incorporated, and amending the 2016 county budget and capital plan in relation to acquisition of snow removal equipment.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Legislator Fitzpatrick. Monticelli. Doctour. Doldo. Johnson. Reed. McBride. Maxon. Peck. Nabawanik. Drake. Adsit. Jarrow. Gray.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 171.
Authorizing agreement in relation to the state alternatives to incarceration program funding.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 172.
Authorizing agreement for provision of mental hygiene services.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 173.
Amending the 2016 county budget to allocate additional state aid for community services programs.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Legislator Johnson. McBride. Doctour. Doldo. Adsit. Fitzpatrick. Jarrow. Peck. Maxon. Nabawanik. Reed. Drake. Monticelli. Gray.
Yes.
Motion carries.
174.
Amending the 2016 county budget and authorizing agreement with Credo Community Center for Treatment of Addictions Incorporated in relation thereto.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Legislator Johnson. Adsit. Doldo. Nabawanik. Fitzpatrick. Monticelli. Drake. Peck. Maxon. McBride. Reed. Doctour. Jarrow. Gray.
Yes.
Motion carries.
175.
Accepting funding for the New York State Department of Health COLAs for lead poisoning prevention program and rabies expense, and amending the 2016 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Legislator Maxon. Jarrow. Drake. Monticelli. Doctour. Johnson. Fitzpatrick. Doldo. Peck. Nabawanik. McBride. Reed. Adsit. Gray.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Earlier today, you received the additional resolution that we have in front of you this evening, so I'd like a motion and a second to waive the appropriate standing rules to allow for introduction of the resolution. That's a motion by Mrs. Fitzpatrick, second by Mr. Nabwanek. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 176, please.
Supporting Fort Drum as the preferred site for an East Coast Missile Defense Agency ground-based interceptor.
May I have a motion on the resolution? Mr. Reed, second, Mr. Docteur. Discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Yes, Mr. Peck?
Since it does concern the potential closure of one of our roads, how does that get remedied? Meaning 3A, with supporting such a resolution.
I would say at this point, the resolution is endorsing the overall concept because there is a timeline that we need to meet in terms of communicating with Washington, D.C. on this particular issue. I suspect there's a lot of devil in the details that will still be discussed and ironed out over the course of time. That's not something that's going to get resolved instantaneously. So that's kind of a work in progress matter. Where that ends up exactly, don't yet know. But this is really to the bigger picture. Do we want to endorse the program itself?
The location. There'll be components that there's no doubt, there'll be components of this that probably people will not necessarily agree with. You are free, obviously, later in the process to take a position opposing something like a closure of a 3A if you want to. If there's enough people on board, obviously we'll take a position, but if necessary on different components of this, but they are strongly looking for support. Just so you know, I think I did a letter, right? Yes, there's a letter being done. There's several other mechanisms in place to show support for Fort Drum being one of 3 East Coast locations for the missile defense. So, and this is just one step in the process. So there'll be more to come on different components of it later.
No, I'm glad that Fort Drum is on the list. It's just, you know, I watch media and read reports too, and then when I see that people within Congress are pushing hard for more missile defense systems, and yet the Pentagon says that the system doesn't even fully work. We don't have the money to spend on this. And yet there are still people pursuing it. So I guess
that's above our pay grade. That's for
I
them
know
to,
it's above,
that's for them to worry about.
It's
not
above
us.
our pay grade, but this
we're
affects,
just supporting Fort Drum as a location. It's up to them to figure out if it works or not. So, point well taken, though, Mr. Peck.
You know, as we, you know, we mind our dollars well. I would sincerely hope that they're minding their pocketbook also. So I guess is the bottom line here.
Duly noted, I think. Further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. That's it for the resolutions. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring before the committee? Mr. Maxim.
Thank you, Chairman Gray. I just simply wanted to commend the board. We had a few contentious votes tonight, and I think that we've done a fine job of finding a way to disagree without being disagreeable. And yeah, as the late Bob Thomas said, don't be afraid to break up the marriage once in a while. So I appreciate the comments from everyone tonight, and respect your positions.
Anything else from any of the members? This is not on the agenda. It's called Chairman's solicitation. I would like, next week, we don't have a meeting. The fair is next Tuesday, so typically we push off general services. The stepchild, he gets pushed aside once a year. So having said that, I would like everybody to consider during the summer months if they would entertain moving the meetings until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. A couple of different reasons for that. One, it may improve attendance. We may get more people here who don't want to wait until 2 hours past their work time to come back out for a meeting. So if they have something that they'd like to address us on, we'll certainly be a little bit more convenient for people if we have it right at the end of the workday. That would be number one, interest of the public. Number two would be certainly looking out for you folks. In the interest of what you may like to do during the summer months, you would have time to depart a little earlier than having to come here at 7 o'clock for some of you people that stay in town for the meeting. And lastly, but certainly not least, our staff. They are on summer hours, as you know, and so we do require them to stay 3 hours past the time that they're scheduled to leave once a week. So just in the interest of them, I would ask you also to consider that. So it, globally, like you had asked, to consider it under all three conditions, and within the next week or so, I would be glad to take your input. So it is totally up to you folks, obviously. Everything is totally up to you folks. So, okay? Fair enough? You cannot? Okay. Okay. That's good. We can't jeopardize any members, so. If anybody's got any other ideas, we'll entertain those. So, okay? Any other business? None? Motion to adjourn? Mr. Maxim, second. Mr. McBride, all in favor? Maybe noon? I suppose.